O Levels Maths Review Exercise 13 D1 7th edition. We shall try to cover question number 2 in this video. Question number 2 is about finding the area of this shaded region of this shape. Area and perimeter of this shaded region. There is no such shape like this shaded region in maths, so we are going to break it into known shapes and get our required result. So what am I going to do is I'm going to find the area of the semicircle, the big semicircle first, and subtract the areas of these two small semicircles from the area of this big semicircle and get my result. Now one thing we must keep in mind that the diameter for this big circle is 28. So the radius would be d1 is equal to 28. So r1 would be 28 divided by 2 is equal to 14. So for the big semicircle, the radius is going to be the half of the diameter, which is 28 divided by 2 is equal to 14 centimeters. Now for the small semicircles, now this small semicircle, this is starting from the center of this big circle and ending at the outskirts of the big semicircle. So if the diameter of this big circle is 28, then the diameter of this small circle, this line starting from here and ending at the outskirts of this circle for this small semicircle would be half of 28, because this circle is starting from the center of the big semicircle and ending at the outskirts of the semicircle. So for this small semicircle, the diameter would be 14. So consequently the radius would be half of diameter, which is 14, which is 7. So for small semicircles we'll use radius as 7, and for big semicircle we use radius as 14. So first of all we are going to find the area of the big semicircle. Area of a circle is pi r square. If we'll divide it by 2, we'll get the area of the semicircle. So we'll fill in the values. Pi is 3.14 and r for the big semicircle, half of this diameter, this big semicircle is 14. So 14 into 14 divided by 2. So the result would be, I'll do my maths, I'll be left with 307.72. I'll round it off to 3 significant figures. You can leave it like this as well and round it off in the end as well. So the next digit is greater than 5, so I'll add 1 to it. It will become 308 centimeter square. Now area of one small semicircle. These two small semicircles are identical. First I am going to take out the area of one small semicircle. The radius for the diameter for that is 14 and radius is half of diameter, which is 7. So is equal to 3.14 into 7 into 7 divided by 2 which is equivalent to 76.93. I have rounded it off to 2 significant figures. The next number is greater than 5, so I will add 1 to it. So 77 centimeter square is my required dimension. Now area of two small semicircle, I will multiply this with 2 and get my required answer, which is 154. Now area of shaded region. How are we going to attain the area of the shaded region? I would subtract the area of these two small semicircles from the area of the big semicircle and get my required result. So area of big semicircle was 308 and area of two small semicircles is 154 minus 154. The answer is the answer is equivalent to 154 centimeter square. Now we have to find the perimeter of this shape as well. Perimeter is the outer boundary, sum of the outer boundaries of any shape. Now if this, so we are not concerned with these white semicircles. What we are concerned about, the outer boundary of this and this. So there we have to add, so this, the perimeter of a circular part is called the circumference. So what am I going to do? Circumference of the big semicircle plus circumference of this small semicircle plus circumference of this small semicircle. When I'll add them together, I'll get my perimeter of the shape. So first of all, perimeter is the sum of the outer lines of any shape. As I have to find the perimeter of the shaded area, the outer lines of the shaded area make the circumference of three circles, in which two small semicircles are identical. So I shall proceed with my maths. Circumference of big semicircle is equal to, the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. I'll divide it by 2 to get the circumference of semicircle. It will be crossed out and I'll be left with pi r. So I'll substitute the values. Pi is 3.14 and r for radius for big semicircle, as we have already calculated, is 14. So I'll multiply it with 14 and I'll get my required result, which is equivalent to 21.98. I'll round it off to two significant figures. This is greater than 5, so 1 will be added to 21 and I'll will be left with 22 centimeters square. You can do it like this as well, and in the end you can round it off, but it's the same. Now circumference of this small semicircle, this, the outer area of this. So circumference of 2 pi r is the circumference of a circle. If I'll divide it by 2, I'll get the circumference of the circle and I'm left with pi r. Pi is 3.14 and for the smaller semicircle, radius is 7. So into 7, it is equivalent small semicircle to 3.14 into 7, which is equivalent to 3.14 into 7 is equal to, sorry, here in the circumference of big semicircle, instead of multiplying it by 14, I multiplied it with 7. So sorry, it's wrong. When I'll multiply it with 14, I'll get the answer 43.96, and which is equivalent to 44. So this is the correct answer here. When I'll multiply 3.4 with 7, then I'll get 21.98, which is equivalent to 22 centimeters square. As we have to calculate the circumference of two small semicircles, this and this, so I'll multiply this dimension this dimension with 2, which is 2 into 22, which is equivalent to 44. So perimeter of the shape, I'll add them together, 44 plus 22 plus 44, and sorry, I will not add this 24. I will not add this information because I have multiplied this with 2 here, and now I am going to use this instead of this. So what am I going to do? 44 plus 44 is equal to 88 centimeter. We can also do that if you don't want to multiply it with by 2. So what are you going to do? You are going to write down 44 plus 22 plus 22. You can write it down as well, which will also give the answer 88 centimeter.